Hey there, don't mind me. I'm just recording sounds with the first microphone that I could find in the house. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, that wasn't always the case.
This is the original.
AudiomAIster is an AI tool that improves your voice, makes sound effects more clear, removes noise, clicking, and other sources of distortion. It's fully open source, ready to go, links in the description below. If you want to get started, you can check it out right now. So how exactly does all of this work? Well, our journey begins at a few weeks back when I was happily filming my unscripted unboxing video for my new 3D printer. As with all of my videos of this format, I first live stream on Twitch and later I edit it into a YouTube video. This time, however, I used my phone to live stream the unboxing for the first time, and when I was done happily unboxing my new gadget, I was greeted by this.
What do we have here? It's finally here. It took a really long time because they were out of stock and I really wanted it.
Yeah, not very old and cute. It was absolutely ruined beyond repair, so naturally I started looking into various kinds of tools. I tried conventional tools like Audacity. I also started wandering into the wonderful world of AI to look for the holy grail of sound restoration. I came upon two tools. The first one was Adobe Podcast, where you need to sign up for a waitlist, which, to be honest, will probably take longer than for me to make my own model, so Adobe Bon Voyage. I also stumbled upon a free model called Voice Fixer, which was, to my best knowledge, the best audio restoration model that is available. I tried it out, and sadly, while it did improve my voice in some places, it pretty much made my voice disappear in others, or maybe sound like a robot. My guess is this is part of the noise reduction feature of the model, because videos normally don't only have voice, but also sound effects like me picking up a box, or me groaning because that box was way too heavy. So Voice Fixer was an interesting candidate, but not in the way that you think. You see, Voice Fixer also released their training code, framework, and all of the other things needed to train this model, such as the dataset. And I started playing around with it, like, what if I add sound effects, like what I call desirable noise, or noise that you want to have in your video. For example, picking up a box or a sound effect really adds to the vibe, and that's how the fork of Voice Fixer called AudiomAIster was born. Adding sound effects to the dataset wasn't the only change that we made. Before we can explain what exactly happens under the hood of this audio restoration model, we first have to take a look at what comes in and what goes out. During training, an audio restoration model typically has two inputs, your source audio and your target audio. The source audio contains a degraded version of the target audio, and the target audio contains the original. The model is then tasked to, given the source audio, create the target audio. This way, the model learns to undo the degradation that we have done. Now we can take a look at what kind of degradation we do. In AudiomAIster, this is split up into two parts. The first one is pre-processing. What happens here is that we do degradation on the audio that is very heavy on the CPU. And because it's heavy on the CPU, it will take much longer to train the model because the GPU, which typically trains your model, has to wait for the CPU to complete his task. So what we do is we do that beforehand. Difficult forms of degradation are adding bass and treble, adding echo, low-pass, high-pass filters, you name it. Then we also have the post-processing degradation. This form of degradation happens during training. Examples of degradation here are adding clicks, clipping the audio, increasing or decreasing its volume, and mixing it up with random pre-recorded noise. This ensures that we get as fast possible training while still having random enough data for the model to extrapolate correctly even when we have a little amount of data. And boy, do we have little amount of data, especially compared to Voice Fixer. Our Voice Fixer has 300 hours of data, our model only has 24 hours of data. And the reason why we get away with that is because we record the noise, the effects, and the original sound as well as the degraded sound separately, which means that we could shuffle each of them and mix them up completely randomly. There is also another form of pre-processing happening, which we call the global pre-processing. What happens here is that we increase the tempo or decrease the tempo, increase or decrease the pitch or the speed of the sound. Unlike with the other form of processing, this one is not being inverted by the model. This makes sure that the model learns better on high-pitched voices, which, for example, with mine, gets a little bit like that. And I also noticed that VoiceFixer couldn't really filter that one out as well, so I wanted to make sure that this model extrapolates on that extra well. Of course, these weren't all of the changes that I made, but for the purpose of science, this does explain why this model does what it does today. If you're interested in a full technical overview, feel free to check out the GitHub where all of the changes are laid out. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoy and I wish you all a pleasant day. Of course, if you wish to sponsor my research, feel free to join my Patreon, where not only you'll be able to see behind the scenes footage, get discount, and direct to where things are going, you will also have a great consciousness that you are supporting open source models that not only are public, easily accessible, open source, and open research, but also are, to my best knowledge, one of the best models. What more could one ask for? Of course, if you don't want to spend money on research, a simple like or comment in the video will also be enough. Thank you very much. I'm glad you were here. Bye for now. Hope to see you next time.
I really feel bad for you, AudiomAIster. The noise that's coming from this thing is absolutely insane. Somehow this idiot manages to sleep on it.